What's up, everyone? I'm Tamara, and this is Tam's Second Advice, where we look at MBTI with a creative twist. So today we're going to be talking about ENFJ writer. For the ENFJs out there, do you find it strange that you could be really good at something that you've never discovered? Have you ever thought that a type like an ENFJ could be really great at writing and for some, speaking? By the end of this video, you will never think of ENFJs and writing in the same way again. And I challenge you to get your pen out and start writing. You could be living your life without doing the thing that you were meant to do. So there are a couple of things ENFJs are good at. And by the way, most people often overlook things they're good at and go for something else. But many ENFJs are exceptional writers and great public speakers. Mariah Carey is an example of that. Yes, she's an extraordinary singer, but it's the lyrics she writes that sets her apart from so many other performers. In fact, if you look at her lyrics, they're unique to an R&B style. It's like studying a dictionary, but there's something really special about it. She just said on Masterclass that writing is really her bread and butter, even more so than actual singing. Not convinced yet? Well, let's look at a couple of more writers because I want you to really get this. Barack Obama, an ENFJ, profusely wrote many of his own presidential speeches, even though presidents have access to the most notable speechwriters on earth. And what about Drake? He is prolific. He has guest appeared on many songs for other artists and written a multitude of songs for himself. He is a dope lyricist. Some ENFJs are propelled higher than most humans ever will because of their talent for writing. I'm an ENFJ, and I would say I'm a pretty decent writer. It comes naturally to me. I've written about 35 short stories, and I actually published 2 books, and I'll put the link to those books in the description box if you want to kind of get a feel for my ENFJ style of writing. One is on love and one is on narcissism. I never thought I could have the stamina to write books. It was never a dream or a goal. In fact, when it comes to writing, I think I have imposter syndrome, which is the persistent inability to believe that one's success is deserved or has been legitimately achieved as a result of one's own effort or skill. It is the internalized fear of being exposed as a fraud despite external evidence of their competence. I've taken writers' courses to get better, but I can't say writing is my passion. I think I allowed too many influences, albeit some did elevate my writing, but I was so eager to follow a set of rules that it interfered with my natural flow. And you want flow when you're writing. And so I changed it to something completely different instead of developing my own style and rhythm. Some of that could have been my own fault. I'll definitely take the blame because I remember taking a writer's course in college and all I cared about was making an A. So I hopscotched all over the professor's critiques until he didn't know what I was doing. And I didn't know either because I was so busy trying to create a style he liked rather than sticking to my own technique and working to make it better. That's a tip for all of you listening. Be open to critique to make an impact, but also to thine own self be true. As typical, I can be tough on myself like most other ENFJs, but it's reasonable to grant ourselves more credit. Compare yourself to writers who have the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is a type of cognitive bias that causes people to overestimate their knowledge or ability particularly in areas with which they have little to no experience. In psychology, cognitive bias refers to unfounded beliefs we may have, often without realizing it. Have you ever wanted to be good at something and enjoyed doing it, but you just weren't good at it? I've seen writers like this, with thousands of typos and mistakes, random floods of thoughts that make no sense, but they believe that they're experts in it, which is an example of what the Dunning-Kruger effect is trying to exemplify. So basically, it doesn't matter what your MBTI is, there's probably something that you're naturally good at, and it's amazing how we can brush the things off that we're actually pretty good in and think that we are lacking and we don't have the confidence. And then there are other people who aren't very good at all and they think they are amazing at it. So we have to watch that sort of thinking. At the same time, I think it's good to be honest about your level of expertise or how good you are, and always be open to making improvements. When I wrote my books, I didn't write them in perfect order. I actually wrote them all out of order and then put them together in order. I just wasn't that cookie cutter like A, B, C, D, but that's not really how ENFJs are. That they are, but they aren't. I did research and I studied and gleaned information from authors who had done it before me. But ENFJs do things with a purpose or for meaning or because it will elevate someone, not for the purpose of accolades. So speaking of writing, I guess I will shyly share with you just some random thoughts that I put pen to paper on. When sorrow holds me, I endure the chafing cray, haloed under the winter sky. It is writing that cloaks me like a warm blanket. My mind defrosts. My withering hand grips my sole companion. As ink flows from her, I drift from darkness, and the glowing crystal lamp mellows me like cinnamon cocoa. My sultry mood dissipates and I'm okay again. See, ENFJs need writing. It is required, a must-have. Doesn't matter the skill set. It's a way to reconnect to the soul, feeling alive again, massaging thoughts that ruminate and call forth healing. It's important for ENFJs to express their thoughts through pen and paper, or even a keyboard diary, to make sense of the opaque and bring forth the blurry and confusing and billowing joy. ENFJs, you gotta start writing. Whether it's just for fun or it's something serious, it's therapeutic, and it's a must need for the ever complex ENFJ. And that's why I've also created a playlist, a deep playlist of probably 150 videos just on the ENFJ on 3 different playlists. And I will link at least one of those below, because you want to discover all sides of yourself if you're an ENFJ, or understand them better if you're not. And I'll also put a link to the books that I was talking about that I wrote. And it's by they're both by Tamara Hunter Zyon. One is called Flip the Script on Love. The other one is The Workplace NaRCISSiST. And they're both on Amazon right now. If you want to check them out, you can kind of get into my headspace and see how I think, what I've learned about both of those subjects. And I swore I would never write a book, and I probably will never do it again, but I just had something to say. So I hope you have a wonderful evening and try out your writing skills. Bye, friends.